debate. SB and Sean breaking through the noise, serving real talk, the genuine choice. No pretense, no hidden schemes, just sports passion fueling dreams. From the field to the court, every play that's made. Real takes over fake debates. Turn it up, hear the honest sound. Unfiltered sports all year round. Discussions pure, no masquerade. Real takes over fake debates. Turn it up. Over fake debates. Real takes over fake debates. Real takes over fake debates.
And we are live. Sbtalksports Sean Webb. Real takes over fake debates. It is Monday, Sean. How you feeling today?
Doing good, SB. Hope you had a good holiday, Thanksgiving holiday, and everyone out there had a good Thanksgiving holiday as well.
I hope everybody had a good Thanksgiving too. Yeah, Sean, I had a good. I got my grub on. Had a good fun time playing the game with the family. I actually got my grandma, so we got this game on the Switch where it's like different like board games, Connect Four, darts, and all that. I actually got my grandma to play the Switch, so we was out here partying, had a good time. So I can't complain at all. Hope everybody enjoyed their holiday out there too. We got a lot of things to talk about. A lot of NBA. We got a couple NBA. We got to talk about OKC. My Chicago Bulls are in the news. We also got to talk about Nikola Jokic, as somebody, a former NBA coach, believe he is already the greatest player of all time. Yes, the greatest player of all time over LeBron James and Michael Jordan at this current moment. Also, we got some couple NFL news, some injuries. The Bears are the number one seed in the NFC. I'll tell you right now, Chicago is going crazy. I'm right here living through it right now. Steeler fans are ready for Mike Tomlin to retire. And you got to do some real takeover reaction. I got some couple in there, Sean. I'm going to shock you with a couple of things I got in there. So make sure you guys like, make sure you guys share, make sure you guys subscribe, no matter where you guys are watching from. Salute Tiff in the chat, salute Goat, James in the chat, salute chat. Let's go ahead and get to the news. First things first, I got to do some NBA. The Chicago Bulls have discussed trading for Anthony Davis per Jamal Collar. And the tweet and what he said was, the Bulls have had internal discussions about how to proceed, including conversations about Dallas star Anthony Davis. Sources told ESPN whom they believe could help the team's porous rim protection, which is porous, and defensive interior. Sean, I know the Bulls my team, but I'm going to let you go first on this. How you feel about this, and do you think the Bulls should do it?
So, SB, I mean, you probably remember when Dallas initially fired Nico Harrison. This was one of the conversations we had. I think I mentioned to you the Bulls being one of the teams that I think would be in the Anthony Davis market if Anthony Davis became available. If the report holds true, and I know you had some reporting on this as well, I think this is something the Bulls should absolutely consider, given where they are right now and where the Eastern Conference is right now. I know the Bulls, as of right now, are a game below 500 after starting very hot. But the Eastern Conference outside of Detroit right now is still very much, up in play. We're not even a quarter away through the season just yet. So I think it's something the Bulls should consider. Again, I know you have some reporting on this. I want to, turn to you on this, but from my perspective, depending on what the package would take, and again, you got to make the salaries work, because the Bulls are not below the cap, but the Bulls are not a team with just, a lot of cap space where they can just absorb a huge salary like Anthony Davis. Depending on the moves and depending on what you'd have to give up, it would be something the Bulls should absolutely consider if the intent is to try to make a push in the East this season.
Yeah, because the East is wide open. Like, the only team that's came about that shocked me, well, I'm gonna say shocked me, but I take them as a legit threat, is the Detroit Pistons. I know the Raptors are happen to see. I don't really take the Raptors that seriously. I know they went on a little hot streak because right now, early It's early season. So if you go on a 5-game win streak, 6-game win streak, you could go from 10 to the number 2 seed, especially in the Eastern Conference. So I think the Pistons is like the only team I really legitimately take like seriously like that. But yeah, the reports came out about they did have internal conversations right now. But what I am happy to hear is that the Bulls standing on business when it comes to this trade, because they let the Dallas Mavericks know that they're open for this trade, but they're not trading on their core players. And from a report saying that their core players that they are looking at as their core is Kobe White, Josh Giddey, Montes Buzelis, and newly acquired rookie Noah Isingay. And if that's the case, I'm down for it. And I even add another thing to it. Don't trade more than 2 picks. And don't trade this year's coming up draft pick, because this is going to be a deep draft. I'll tell you, y'all can get next year's draft pick. I'll make it top. Or if you want to give that one unprotected, that's cool. But the next pick you give them gotta be protected, or got to be a clause in there. If Anthony Davis missed a certain amount of time, the pick could be protected, like top 10, top 15 protected if Anthony Davis missed times. If that's the case, I'm down. I'm all for it, because the trade might obviously gonna need another team involved. But I believe on the Bulls side, you probably get rid of like Zach Collins, Nikola Vucevic, maybe Kevin Huerter. Like you got to get rid of some of that big expiring contracts. But if those main 4 players are still on my team and we add Anthony Davis, I'm down for it, because the Bulls started off hot and we kind of got blinded by like, oh, we on a good run. But then the realness or the real problems of the team, because Sean, to be honest with you, I love Vooch, but if Nikola Vucevic ain't scoring the ball, he's useless. Be honest with you. He is if he's not scoring, he is useless. I've seen the young kid Donovan from the Portland Trailblazers dominate the fourth quarter, but they got blinded because Nikola Vucevic hit the game-winning 3. Sorry to tell everybody who watch Bulls fans out there, that was the only point he scored in the fourth quarter, and he only had 2 rebounds. The kid almost had 10 rebounds alone in the fourth. We need rim presence. We need rebound. I think Anthony Davis will fit perfect on the Chicago Bulls. He give us everything. If he's healthy and locked in, he will give us everything that Nikola Vucevic give us on offense with better defense.
Yeah, my only thing is SB, and I would just say if the Bulls make the move for Anthony Davis, they have to have a center, because Anthony Davis has long been against playing center at the full time. So you just got to make sure you have a center. So I know Collins and Vucevic are the 2 centers right now. Can you get a center in the deal as well? Maybe a young guy to man the middle, so Anthony Davis does not have to play the center position full time. But I agree with you.
Yeah, Go Jay said not even rebounding, brother. Vooch is literally all buckets. If Vooch ain't scoring, not worth nothing. Not worth nothing. Shout out Anti. I ain't seen Anti in a minute. It is football time. Anti always pop up when it's football time. He said, but what does that do for the Bulls? Anthony Davis don't move. He does move the needle. Right now in the Eastern Conference, you got the Toronto Raptors at the number 2 seed. The East wide. It's only because the East wide open, but the Bulls will legitimately get their true value from Anthony Davis next season. It won't be from this year. This year, just be like, okay, AD's in, but he's out of shape right now. I think he'll be locked in shape. You add a being top 10 player with healthy to a young team that's putting up 120, 130 points a game. And the one thing they missing is a defender rim protector. And he can actually clutch up and score. Oh, Anthony Davis will change dynamic for the Chicago Bulls. He'll move the needle a lot, because Josh Giddey is a triple-double threat. Kobe White is 24, 22-point game score. Montes Buzelis
when healthy.
Montes Buzelis is honestly, call me crazy, Sean. I think if the Bulls develop him right, health-wise, body-wise, he could be the next Giannis. I go back and look at how rookie Giannis used to play. Go back and look at rookie Giannis. He looked just like Montes Buzelis. We're going to have to put 20 pounds of muscle on him, but he can legitimately play like that. And people don't know this, so everybody, they think all the white guys are international. Montes Buzelis is from here. So he got that dog in him. So he's a Chicago kid. So there ain't no soft European player. No offense to anybody from Europe or anybody overseas watching. He's not one of those players. He's a Chicago hooper. So we play hard nose. But we'll see. Yeah, shout out. Go to make sure y'all please like, share, subscribe. But let me know what you guys think. I'm down for it. If those 4 players still on my roster and we're not giving up more than 2 picks, I'm down for it. Sean, I think it's legitimately, speaking of the the conference record, I want to go to the West side. 20-1. Their second best player has not played.
He just came back.
Just came back. Has not really played this season. They're 20-1. Then they have so much draft capital that they could trade for a superstar if they wanted to. Or they could draft one of the top draft picks because the pick they got this year is the Clippers, and the Clippers are 5-15 right now. If they find a way to win the championship and add like Cam Boozer to the team, I'm gonna be done. I wouldn't know what to do. Sean, you know we've been doing this podcast for a minute, and I regretted what I said. I took back everything I said. I used to kill Sam Presti on the daily. That take age like milk and with poop mixed together. But I'm just saying, he locked in, and then locked in so much riches on his team that he can feed this team, go dominate for the next 5-10 years. I never seen a team that won a championship and can get better than they did win the championship. Not like no sneaky KD signing because your star player had an injury or low contract. They paid everybody, and they still can get better, Sean. So my simple question, how dangerous is OKC?
When you look at all the assets, they're incredibly dangerous, but I think the thing that makes them the most dangerous is their three best players don't have an ego.
They don't at all. I don't see no trouble with them. They go out there, hoop, and ball.
For all the people that like to try to clown SGA, this guy gives you 30 a night, and he does it with no ego. It's not about him. He just wants to win. He likes you notice how, and I always pay attention when I'm watching them, especially. You notice how their bench reacts when guys on the floor doing their thing, and then when the guys come off the floor, and guys come off of the bench and doing their thing, the bench reacts the same way.
They're a unit.
Yeah, it's like a unit, and in many ways, it is a lot kind of like that early 2010 OKC team. It's like a college team, but they're obviously a little bit older and a little more mature because but they're dangerous. And you mentioned just the assets. They don't have to make a trade for a superstar. They have a superstar. They have a legit all-star, two-way all-star next to him, and they have a third guy who could become an all-star, in the next year or so. So they don't have to make a trade. All they have to do is just figure out how do we continue to fill it out around these guys. And as those guys get older, can we bring in younger talent to supplement those guys? They're going to be dangerous for the next few years as long as Sam Presti is there, and as long as they keep that mentality is us over me, and we over I.
And they be like that. I knew they've been like that from the fact of when SGA had the interviews and the whole team in the interview did one time. He made sure the whole team was there. Like they one band, one sound. And I was trying to look and see did that one rookie Nikola didn't play yet this season, has he?
No, he had testicular cancer, I believe they found, and so he hasn't played yet. But when he gets on the floor, he can play. He can flat out play. So that's going to be just another added bonus for them.
Do he still get his rings, right, too, right? Every ring they count. Okay, he still get them. They still count because he's on the roster, right?
Yeah, because he's on the roster, yeah.
Okay, he going to be the first rookie coming to the league with 2 rings and win Rookie of the Year. He going to win Rookie of the Year. And now if he played next season might be tough. He played next season. This draft class is
loaded.
Tough, loaded. But that's another thing. So if the Clippers say get the number one pick, the OKC can add Cam Boozer to the team, add AJ to the team, and they kind of come off the bench. It'd be crazy.
Darren Peterson from Kansas to the team. Like they got a chance to add another legit.
This OKC. I'm finna grow up. You know how the Bulls had that aura with their jersey? I'm finna in the next 20 years, OKC aura gonna be like that because if OKC was a major market team, good God, good. Hold up. Could you imagine the Knicks was built like this?
Well, and again, they understand they have to operate this way because they are a small market team, and they're not necessarily a team that's going to attract a big time free agent. I mean, getting Hartenstein was a big get for them, but other than that, they're not going to attract the big free agents. And again, with this CBA, it's not going to be, I think, this major free agency moves that we've seen over the years past. So this is how they're going to build it, and they know how they got to build it, and this is why they've stacked as many assets as they have. So, yeah, I know we got to get to some football, but how dangerous are they? They're very dangerous because of who's running the show, but because of what they have in the cupboard.
Yeah, well, I got a real takeover reaction about OKC too. But former coach Stan Van Gundy, and I have the clip. We're going to definitely play the clip, react to it. Yeah, we got you, Anti. We got you, Anti. He said Nikola Jokic right now is the greatest player of all time over LeBron, over Jordan, over Tim Duncan, over Kareem. He said right now. I'll play this that clip so we don't misquote him nowhere. But let's get to this clip real quick. This was via the Zach Lowe podcast too. He was a guest on it.
This sound like heresy. And it's not my original takes. Someone in a front office said this to me at Summer League, and I just hadn't heard it verbalized like this. I think Jokic might be the best offensive player in the history of the NBA. I think that's on the table now for me.
Well, he might be the best player in the history of the NBA. Here's the thing. Like my son says this all the time about every sport. He's more of a baseball guy, right? He said, look, he goes, I understand the thought that you compare players to how well they did in the era they played in.
Which makes sense.
But the evolution of athletes is, we can probably say that the best 20 basketball players in history have probably played in the last 20 years, Zach. I mean, like.
I'm gonna stop it. I'm gonna stop it right there. What do you have on the release? Stop it right there. Sean, what's your reaction to the clip? Word verbatim, so we ain't misquote him. We got the exact action of it. What's your reaction to the clip? Do you agree with him or disagree with him? Is Jokic the best player? Because Zach Lowe made a point like you can argue offensive player. You can argue that. I was like, okay, he had me. But what he said, he might be the best player at this current point in time. I don't know. But and then also the 20 best players have played in this century right now, or majority of them.
Yeah, so where I don't do the whole this guy couldn't play in this era, this guy couldn't play. I don't do that because that's an absolute difficult thing to quantify. So I'm not going to get into that. What I am saying though about Nikola Jokic is Nikola Jokic is an immense talent. We understand that, we know that, we get that. But Nikola Jokic is also a beneficiary of the game's evolution combined with his immense talent. Meaning, if Nikola Jokic is playing in the NBA 20 years ago or 25 years ago, Nikola Jokic is going to be in the post a lot.
Yeah.
He may shoot the three every now and again, but he's going to be in the post a lot. So what Nikola Jokic is what Arvydas Sabonis was at his peak and at his prime before he had the Achilles injury, and then he came to the NBA. He was much older, but that's what Nikola Jokic is. He's Sabonis, Arvydas Sabonis, Domantas Sabonis' dad. And if you don't know, please watch the film of young Arvydas Sabonis. He was like that.
No, he was nice. No, he was different. Like he was different. I'd have watched clips of Sabonis.
He was like that. So that's who he is. It's a little hyperbole to say that he might be the best player in the history of the NBA. I think what he's doing, obviously, when you talk about the triple doubles and the efficiency is at the same par Wilt Chamberlain in like 1962. It is insane what he's doing in terms of efficiency. So I understand it's a little hyperbole to say that, and it's not to take away from what Joker's doing, but we also have to take into context that he's doing it in an era that allows and that welcomes guys bringing more of their skill sets to the game, and they're not being held to certain positional expectations. And so that is the part I think we have to be very careful when we talk about all time. That's where this conversation goes. That the center position, the point guard position probably changed more than any of the two positions in the NBA. And I would also argue maybe the power forward as well. But that's what Joker's doing. He's doing this with this massive and amazing skill set, coupled with the fact he's doing it in an era that allows him to do this.
Yeah, no, because I think it's more of the Bulls played today too. Okay, we played our Magic. Ooh, good luck. But my thing is, if you're gonna say this, acknowledge the fact that the style of play and the game has changed, and a lot of rules have been implemented to change. A lot of people acknowledge the rules that changes to diminish players. Why you don't like obviously ignite effect like that? That kind of helps. So I just think more of the game has just advanced and more and like medicine has advanced. So that does help. We has a player in LeBron James that literally playing to year 23 and he's still in his prime because he took the proper steps to take care of his body, knowing the advancement of medicine. So it's like we could see players. We went from like a player prime who could have went from, and he like a legit player like year 15, he'd probably fall off. Now we're starting to see players play 18, 19, 20. At the while, 20 going to probably be the norm, or the 18 years going to be the norm. And we're going to see a lot of players do a lot of good things. With Nikola Jokic, is he an all-time great player, Sean? Yes. Will he retire? Will he be a tier 1 player? Yes. But we just talked about how dangerous OKC is right now because that's going to be the next point of where we diminish or praise a player, because if SGA, which I have something to say, just dominates this era, be more than one player, well, wouldn't that kind of drop Jokic? Because Jokic would be the one in his way and he beat Jokic all the time. Or if Jokic does the same thing to SGA. So winning and losing does matter. I do think we have to see. But we come from just a skill set of a player and his accomplishment right now. I say center, I definitely all-time centers, he's in that one of the best centers conversation. All-time great player. It's still, my problem is there's still other guys who put in a lot of work, like I want to say like a Kevin Durant, but I feel like he's in that area. Like whatever you got KD at, either he like right behind KD or right below KD, because he still just got to play more time. Yes, he got the MVPs and he does have a championship that he led the Nuggets to. But I'm like, yeah, a player like Kevin Durant, who's an all-time great scorer, but put in years of work. That's the only thing that I'm saying. So, but I do think when Joker retires, he will be that. It's just a little early. So I'll never hear anybody else complain about how people anointed Jordan early in his career, or anointed LeBron early in his career, because y'all literally doing the same thing verbatim right now as we speak. And I know we got to get, he said, we don't tax Jordan for his weak comp at SGA type team with another top 10 player. No, they do. They definitely do. That's the whole why you think is a conversation with him and LeBron. Now, because that's they fight. But okay, after this, we got to get into the NFL. Real quick, he said Joker is the best player in the league, and I also think he said to me the MVP. So a lot of people, he think Joker should be the MVP. Because I think he said another clip, he said that too. I disagree. I don't think Joker is the MVP right now, and he putting up crazy numbers. Sean, if you have to put your MVP, who's the true MVP right now?
Joker.
Who you got? You got Joker?
Well,
Joker.
I'm going to say Joker, 1A, Cade Cunningham, 1B.
Ooh, Cade Cunningham, 1B. Hold on. I'm going to make sure I'm going to read everybody's stats too. Joker right now is Jesus Christ. These numbers are ridiculous, Sean. 28 points, 63% from the field, 45% from three. He is like that. I'm not going to lie. He is like that. That's what I'm saying. I don't know, Sean. I might have to wait. Say his first couple of years. Look, I don't know. I might have to take that statement back I said earlier. Re-look at that. Joker has. I didn't realize how long Joker been. It's been about 10 years, and I would say what 3. You can say 3 of them years he was like regular, okay. He got seven great years, and then the last. Yeah, no, I don't know. I might take that state. Joker might be there. I don't know. I don't know about the best player, but he might be above a lot of people. But back to my point, I just got thrown off looking at all Joker numbers. It's crazy. 28 points, 63% from the field, 45% for 3. He averaged 12 rebounds, 10 assists, and 1.5 steals. You said Mr. Cade Cunningham, which I think he gonna get hit with the most improved, Sean, because everybody putting up too much crazy numbers. Cade Cunningham right now, 28 points per game, 45% from the field, 31% for three, 6 rebounds, 9.4 assists. And he does have the Detroit Pistons at number 1. But Sean, my MVP, and we just talked about him. I'm sorry to tell y'all this, and Jokic numbers is crazy, is Shai Gilgeous-Alexander right now. He's averaging 32 points, shooting 54% from the field, 41% for three, 4.8 rebounds, 6 assists, averaging a steal. His team is 20-1, and he has his record without his second best player. I'm taking SGA. I'm sorry.
I think the caveat is if they win more games this year and say they win 70 games, then I think it's probably going to be SGA.
You got to. And honestly, if you look back at the record of both, like what teams at, I think Denver is the only legit. Wait, let me look at before I really say it, because I still feel that way. Until the Rockets get a point guard and Wemby, because I don't think the Spurs not ready yet, because they haven't played no playoffs, so they wanted to do. I honestly think the Nuggets the only legit threat to beat OKC. I know the Lakers fans like, what about it? I can't see y'all doing it. I think the Nuggets is the only legit threat, and it's because of Jokic. You got to have that player that defense. It's no defense that they can put together to stop Jokic. It's ways to stop Luka, or they're gonna stop everybody else around. I don't think OKC has the personnel to guard Jokic. OKC got the personnel to guard the Lakers, the Rockets. I would say the Spurs, but the Spurs need more experience. That's the only thing lacking the Spurs. And honestly, trying the next best team, I would say the Warriors are healthy, but I could see them getting clamped up now. Maybe the Timberwolves. And they've been shaky this year. But honestly, the Nuggets is the league only hope. But to me, if the OKC Thunder wins 70-plus games and the first 21 games, their second best player didn't play, yeah, you got to give it to SGA. It's no question asked for me. But the true MVP right now is SGA. But I will acknowledge, Jokic numbers looking at it did throw me off. I had to retract my statement that I said earlier. He might, because I didn't realize Jokic was in the league this long, because he's been in the league since 2015. Yeah. So he actually got enough time of body of work now. Because it's just more about showing respect to other players. But we got to get into some football now. I know we had a little quick NBA session. Let's know what you guys think. Make sure you guys like, make sure you guys share, make sure you guys subscribe. First thing first up for this NFL story is Vikings waive Adam Thielen as receiver seeks a larger role. So pretty much he asked if they release him. Adam Thielen has a great relationship with the Minnesota Vikings. Obviously, he wants to compete, because if it's looking for a larger role shot, as no team that's competing will give him a larger role. He'll probably be a situational wide receiver, put him in a slot here and there maybe, or red zone situations, give him there to score, be a vet presence to young receivers. That's the only thing that I really can see him doing. But what's your reaction to this? And do you think he could get a larger role somewhere? I don't think he's going to get a larger role. I think he goes somewhere and compete.
He's not getting a larger role anywhere. He's going to go somewhere where they need a body in the room. They need a veteran in the room that has a chance to
yes.
win. And, so he asked out of Carolina because it was a numbers game in Carolina. He wanted to get back to Minnesota. Clearly, Minnesota didn't have, a quarterback. And so,
they don't got it's somebody playing a position of quarterback, but he ain't no quarterback.
No, not at all. But, so think about a team like Buffalo, maybe a team like New England, where you say, okay, can you add a veteran to this room that could, come in and be a help? Obviously, his former teammate Stephon Diggs is in New England, so there may be an opportunity there for him, but he's not getting a larger role anywhere. It's not at this point in the season. It's December. At this point, you just want to get on somewhere where you could be on a playoff roster and maybe contribute a little bit.
And I hope that he actually looked into. I don't think they call it tampering, but I hope he looked into a situation where he had a place to go before he asked for a release.
I'm assuming he did. I'm assuming his agent probably did.
Yeah. Said he's still in the league. Yes, he is. Pass putting belt to butt today. Second greatest quarterback load. Maybe. Adam was great 5 years ago, especially with Kirk Cousins. Everybody looked good with Kirk Cousins. Kirk Cousins was just throwing them. I ain't gonna lie to you. Kirk Cousins throw that football though for sure. Next up on the list, and Sean, is crazy how good they start. They are now second in their division as the Jaguars has overthrown them right now, and they're what's half of first. Jaguars are 8-4. Colts are 8-4. Colts, Sauce Gardner avoids an Achilles injury, which is good, so he will come back, but he will miss time due to a calf. Obviously, Daniel Jones dealing with his injury. I believe his injury was a calf injury too. How bad is these two injuries, or at least most Sauce Gardner, to the Colts as they make a late push for the playoffs? Because they was dominating of their division. We had Jonathan Taylor MVP conversations, but it looked like that fire has went out. So how bad is these injuries for the Colts, and will this stop them from making the playoffs?
I don't think it'll stop them from making the playoffs. I think obviously the division has gotten much tighter. The AFC South is now like the NFC West, where it's still very much up in the air who will win that division. With the Texans coming on, obviously that defense is legit. I've been saying it for all season, and now they got CJ back. But no, I don't think the Colts, will miss the playoffs. Obviously, the big thing for the Colts is, Daniel Jones is playing with a broken fibula. I don't know if they should have announced that he was playing with a broken fibula, because I'm not going to tell a team my quarterback has a broken leg when part of his game is his ability to run. That's just me.
Or they're going to go for his leg and get him out the game.
Yeah, not fibula, tibia, fractured tibia. But, and again, even a couple times when he got hit yesterday, he got up really slow and limping, and it's clear he can't run. He can't, move like that. So
is that a sign of to throw Daniel Jones out there with a broken fibula? Is that more of a sign? Because you got a backup quarterback. Is that more of a sign they just don't trust Anthony Richardson? Is Anthony Richardson just that bad? They only want to give him like a chance?
No, I don't think it's that. I think the issue is that obviously Daniel Jones has had a really good season. He's been able to play apparently with this type of injury before when he was in college. So that's part of it. And also Daniel Jones wants to get paid this offseason. So that's it. So yeah, so I think, it's more that than anything. But also, again, when you look at the Jaguars, when you look at the Texans, they don't have a lot of room for error in the AFC South right now. So, you want to, get your best guns out there and, playing. But obviously the big thing for them is play calling, and can they protect Daniel Jones again? They got to play the Texans again. They got to see the Jaguars this coming Sunday. So, can you protect them? That is the biggest concern for me with the Colts.
Yeah, and I also think I get Daniel Jones want to be played. I think he put out enough tape to show that he will, at least in a coach situation, he'll be good. If you really want to get your contract, get your money, sit out, because you don't want to. If you get your money, but they put like different clauses or non-guarantees in there, you can still end up losing money. So I think he should sit out, get healthy, and then get paid, then come out, and then that's what I think he should do, because he's going to end up making it worse or prolonging the process. Yep. Answer a quick question, before we go to the next. He says, speaking of the Vikings, questions, if they don't get this quarterback situation under control, it's already out of control. There's no control until next season. I'm going to answer that part right there first. How long before Jeddah's keep it professional or crash out or force his way out of Minnesota? I don't think he'll force his way out of Minnesota, but if I was Jeddah, I'd be crashing out right now, because I talked about this, and I got something about real takeover reaction too about Jeddah too that I said. Yeah, I believe Justin Jefferson only got 2 touchdowns this season right now, right?
Yes, and he only had 2 catches for 4 yards yesterday. So
yeah, he's already crashing out by now. Trust me. He just ain't doing it on camera. Shout out Jeddah. Jeddah Hound Rabbit, but I guarantee you, because I still think I don't care about this year. Justin Jefferson is still the best wide receiver in football.
Yeah, when he gets the ball, yeah.
Yeah, when he get the ball, but yeah, he's still the best wide receiver. He got Kirk Cousins and Sam Darnold paid.
Yeah.
Especially Sam Darnold. But Sam Darnold balling right now, but he definitely got paid.
No. He got both of those, helped get both of those guys paid. I think 2 things real quick just to say about the Justin Jefferson situation. He's under contract till 2028. They don't have to do anything with Justin Jefferson right now. Now, obviously, going into the offseason, they have to upgrade, at least bring in some competition for J.J. McCarthy to say, hey, listen, we're not guaranteeing you anything. You went from a 13-win team last season to a 4-win team, and you're in the division where the other quarterbacks in the division are Caleb Williams, Jordan Love, and Jared Goff. You have the 4th best quarterback in your division right now, by far.
By far.
They have to close that gap somehow, some way, if they want to try to figure out, a way to be competitive in an NFC North that's not going anywhere anytime soon, if we're being very honest. So they absolutely have to figure that out. If they don't, then Justin Jefferson will absolutely be within his rights to ask out.
Yeah. He said, quick question. Well, because now I have to look this up. He said, quick question, Coach. He said, does Adams now have a top 10 stats with him moving up in our all-time TD for White House? I guess you're talking about Devontae Adams.
Yeah.
What, he was 7? I mean, we already looked at him as one of the great wide receivers. I don't know where would we rank him. Would he be tier 1? I think. I mean, we have to wait and see. But him being 7th all time is outstanding, though. But yeah, I think he a tier 1 wide receiver.
Yeah, I mean, he's got over 1,000 catches, over 12,000 yards receiving, 115 receiving touchdowns. I think he's in the conversation of the best receivers of his generation.
For sure.
Easily. But, when we talk about their all-time, let's see where things end for him before we had that all-time conversation. Because there's some guys in that conversation that may not have the same numbers, but may have, potentially greater impact.
Yeah. I'm only going to answer these two, then we got more on that show because I know anti be going crazy. He talking about Pickens and Jettas. I just said what I said, anti-Jettas. Pickens is balling out right now, and they better the Cowboys better pay that man, by the way. But Jettas, JSN right now, Justin Jefferson. Justin Jefferson put in multiple years of tape. What both of them doing right now, Justin Jefferson did multiple times already. They just had one good year. Next up on the list, because I know we got a game coming on tonight. We got to keep going. Josh Allen breaks the quarterback record for TDs runs as Bills smack the Steelers. Has Josh Allen solidified himself as one of the best dual threat quarterbacks? Has he walked in the dual threat quarterback room great yet with him breaking his record?
Yes.
Put him in there with
Randall, with Vic, with Steve Young, with Fran Tarkenton.
Lamar Jackson in there too, right?
Lamar, yeah, he's in that room. He's at the table. Cam, can't forget Cam.
Cam Newton.
I ain't gonna say that. I was gonna say somebody else, but I ain't gonna say that.
That's my
I was gonna say pre-Sierra, Russell Wilson, but
Sierra. Don't do that to CC. Yeah. CC ain't do that. See, the problem is what I thought he just did Devontae Adams. I don't know, but it's a different conversation. But they said Devontae Adams and Mike Evans, but that's a different conversation. I would say Devontae. I rock with Mike Evans, but I'm gonna say this: we're not gonna blame Sierra.
It was just being.
No. I'm just saying, with quarterbacks, every quarterback who say they got an alter ego, they always be trash.
Yeah,
I'm sorry. I think once he gave himself an alter ego, talking about Mr. Dangerous, whatever that was, trash. And ever since he came with that name, he's been trash. I think it started with that Subway commercial. It might have been that, and ever since
I think it was him riding with Macklemore, but that's just me.
Maybe that too, because another quarterback who gave himself an alter ego was being trash right now. He ain't done nothing in the league, and that's J.J. McCarthy talking about he 9. Yeah, when 9, because I was like, I beg your pardon, brother. Yeah. You need to play a season.
Viking fans want to go out and buy a 9 and shoot this stuff.
He might need to. Him or the other dude, because golly, that was. Whew. But the main point, obviously, the Bills. They smacked the Steelers. But the big point of the big story, not even that Josh Allen breaks the quarterback record for TD runs, which was outstanding to do, the Steelers lost. And Steelers fans chanted fire Tomlin in a loss to the Bills. Sean, if any of you guys have not watched, I believe this was a couple episodes ago. when we I had to go look at the exact point a couple episodes ago when we talked about this, and I suggested this already before, but now the fans are alluding to it. What would your reaction to hear the fans chant, yell, fire Mike Tomlin?
Yeah.
And then do you agree with them?
So let me answer the second question first. No, you don't fire Mike Tomlin, and I'll tell you why in a second. You understand the frustration, right? You understand the frustration. But let me just share something real quick. Chuck Noll, longtime Steelers coach, probably the greatest coach of Steelers history. Steelers won 4 Super Bowls in the 1970s, and the last one in 1980. He told his wife after that last Super Bowl, we're not going to be very good for a while because most of our great players have gotten older and we haven't had high draft picks. And, since 2017, it's been on the down slope for the Steelers. And a lot of it is because they never adequately found a replacement for Big Ben, as we know. Letting Le'Veon Bell walk out the door was a problem, whether they'll admit it or not. Because have we seen the Steelers been able to run the football the way they ran the football with Le'Veon Bell? No,
they haven't.
The Antonio Brown situation was completely mishandled. Yeah, I know they've had some good receivers. And now you even just look at this season, what George Pickens is doing over in Dallas compared to who they brought in, DK Metcalf. Not all DK's fault because DK can't throw the ball to himself. This is just an old, antiquated Steelers roster, and Tomlin has to take some accountability for that, and he does take accountability for that, but you don't fire him. Now, here's the reason why you don't fire him. Because if you do fire him, 2 seconds after you fire him, he's getting a phone call. Matter of fact, his phone's going to be blowing up.
Is that guaranteed, though? Because the last time they said Bill Belichick's phone was going to blow up, and it didn't.
It's a different animal with Bill Belichick. The reason why people didn't want to mess with Bill Belichick was because of how bad the last the post-Brady years were with the Patriots. The Steelers have still made the playoffs. They just haven't won a playoff game, but they still are going to be above 500, and they're largely going to be in the playoffs. Now, will they win a playoff game? Whole different conversation because we haven't seen them do that in a while. Knowing the Steelers' history, the Steelers don't fire coaches. They don't fire head. Let me rephrase. They don't fire head coaches. Coordinator can go. They do not fire head coaches. If Mike Tomlin goes into the office after the season and says, "Hey, I think we should part ways," the Steelers should trade Mike Tomlin.
I'm not trading for Mike Tomlin. I know you're gonna fire him. I'll just wait for him if I get him.
They're not gonna fire him. That's not what they do. They've had 3 coaches in 55 years. They're not going to fire him. So the idea is if you know that all these head coach openings we're going to have this offseason, the Giants need a head coach. The Titans need a head coach. A couple other teams may end up needing head coaches before the season's over with. And there may be teams who say, "Hey, listen, Mike Tomlin's an upgrade from what we have. We will get rid of Mike. We will get rid of our coach to get Mike Tomlin." That's how respected Mike Tomlin is. Also, from the Steelers' perspective, and I just want to say this really quickly, 2 things to consider. Number one, the Steelers have a certain blueprint they like from their head coach. They look for 3 things with a head coach. Number one, they want somebody on the defensive side of the ball. Number 2, they want a younger guy. Preferably like in their 30s. Number 3, they want a dynamic leader of men. That's what their last 3 coaches have been. All 3 have fit that mold, that model. Who in the NFL right now is that the Steelers can say, "Oh, that young defensive coordinator, that's our next head coach"?
Oh, I can't. I have to go back and I can't think of nobody off the top of the head at the moment.
Right.
I could lock in by Monday, and I could probably give you a replacement.
Maybe. And again, there may be somebody out there, but right now I'm thinking maybe Detroit's defensive coordinator, but he's a first-year defensive coordinator. Kelvin Shepard, he comes to mind immediately. Someone like that, maybe. But that's usually what they do. They go get young defensive guy, dynamic leader of men. Now, again, Mike Tomlin is the head coach. he has to take some accountability for it. But this ain't all on Mike Tomlin, right? This is them. They have never really fully embraced that it's time for them to rebuild. They think we still got a chance because we got a good defense and we got this guy and we got that guy, that we got a chance to win.
Who got them thinking that, though?
Again,
Mike Tomlin. So that's just Mike Tomlin. You saying
it. But that's not just Mike Tomlin's, SB. That's the front office. That's a collective thinking that, hey, we still think we got a chance here. They're gonna have to at some point embrace that, hey, you know what? We may have to go ahead and move on from some of these older guys and start to get younger. Yeah, it may hurt for a couple of years, but we can turn this thing around quickly in a couple of years if we build it right. I don't think they fully embrace that they need to do that. And if you just look at their current team now, what situation in the NFL 2 years from now is worse than the Steelers?
What situation 2 years from now is worse than the Steelers?
Right, yeah.
Maybe the Cardinals, maybe probably like the Cardinals.
But even the Cardinals have some young talent.
Right, some, yeah. 2 years.
Yeah, I mean, right off, you can't. I mean,
the Raiders. But the Raiders. I would say the Raiders, but then you'd be like, I'm hating you.
Yeah, I mean, the Saints.
The Saints, your Saints, Saints,
Saints, maybe, but we'll see.
Now, the Saints in that conversation too.
Yeah, no, but a lot of problems is the same problem with the Saints. Is the same problem with the Steelers. They need to move on from the older guys, get them cap charges off, and start to rebuild. It's fine to say, hey, we got a team we think can compete, but at some point you got to be honest and say, we're not going to win right now. So let's embrace the suck, as the Marines like to say. Let's embrace the suck, and we're going to rebuild this thing really quickly because we've seen teams do it. If you do it smart, look at Detroit.
And you said replace the old. I think Mike Tomlin might be in that conversation. But I had a question for you, Sean. He said,
but if you can get an asset from Mike Tomlin, right? The Saints got a first-round pick for Sean Payton. He hadn't coached for them for a year. So that's what I'm saying. So I'm not firing Mike Tomlin. I'm trading Mike Tomlin. If Mike Tomlin comes to me and says, hey, I think we need to part ways, I'm open to being traded to another place.
As I got a question for you before I say my piece on the Mike Tomlin situation. He said, question, Sean, what is Mike Tomlin known for?
He's known as a great leader, a dynamic leader. He knows football. He knows how to motivate. We've seen Mike Tomlin, obviously, not have a losing season in 19 years in the NFL as an NFL head coach. So he's got great qualities. He's still considered one of the best coaches in the league. But when you just look at, again, I think the biggest problem is maybe the time has worn out in Pittsburgh. I'm not saying it has. I'm saying I think the time is worn out and it's time to stop trying to put Band-Aids on broken legs. Figure out how we're going to rebuild this thing in the next couple of years. And if Mike Tomlin wants to go through a rebuild, is okay with that, then Mike Tomlin stays. But if Mike Tomlin says, hey, I don't really want to do that, I want to move to another place, then figure out a trade where you can send him and get an asset from Mike Tomlin.
I can see that happen. I mean, I wouldn't do it. I just wait till they let him go. But they don't let him go, then it is what it is.
Yeah, Al Powell. I'm just saying, and I appreciate the comment. I think his next comment says if they fire Mike Tomlin, the big issue is that this is what I'm just speaking how the Steelers tend to do. The Steelers are always going to be young defensive guy, dynamic leader of men. They've had a chance to hire great offensive minds. They had a great offensive mind in their building. They didn't hire him because that's not their archetype. Their archetype is young, defensive guy, dynamic leader of men. That's what they like.
No, and that's the Steeler way, still current way. They always going to do that. But I want to even go back to another comment. It says, shout out Big Mike, fire Aaron Rodgers. But with another Alan Powell, he said, it's not Mike Tomlin's fault. I believe it is Mike Tomlin's fault because everything you just presented to the table, because the mindset of Mike Tomlin, and maybe does fit, go down to ownership, and that's why they does do that. But that's the part of the reason where we are where we at now, where you got an old Aaron Rodgers, you got old players on his defense, you just let a young great receiver walk, you let Le'Veon Bell walk. Antonio Brown, that's like, I give that one a pass because a lot came with that. But it's because of the Mike Tomlin way still away, because they don't know when to, hey, in 2019 going 8-8, what did you gain from that? Nothing. What pieces did you get? And then I know, like you said, like the non-losing seasons, but I consider a 9-8, 9-7. That's almost pretty much a losing season. You didn't really do too much of it for it. Or how many times did you make the playoffs in the last couple out of that 10 year? You know,
Right.
and you only got one Super Bowl.
Right.
For if I told you my coach won his second year coaching, that's 2008, which was a lot of different champions on his team, and from that point on, only made the playoffs a handful of times, and it's 2025, and only won double-digit games every other year. I don't think that person would keep his job. I don't think, because now it's like in the last 10 years, and I'm taking for the last 10 years, since 2015, what generally can you say Mike Tomlin has done? And I love, I rock with Mike Tomlin.
Yeah, I mean, the question is, and again, only they notice in the building, has Mike Tomlin lost the locker room? I don't think he has.
Oh, no.
I think the bigger issue is they just don't have great personnel. And I mean, and this is just to be honest, they don't have great personnel. And again, it started with the fact they never had an adequate replacement for Big Ben. The best time to draft a quarterback is when you don't need one. They had to draft Kenny Pickett in their mind because they didn't have a quarterback.
Yep. And they only drafted because he was from Pittsburgh too. So he was like,
and because they were from Pittsburgh and they saw him in the building and they whatever. But and then the Russell Wilson situation, which, again, should have never done that. I thought, I was a big proponent of them trying to work it out with Justin Fields. Obviously, now fast forward, maybe they were right, but the point is that I think they just don't have great personnel. They have to own that. We've seen what he does with great personnel. It's hard to win when you don't have great personnel, but it starts with they don't have somebody under center short or long term. That's, to me, the biggest issue.
As I said, leader man, but could control Antonio Pickens. Antonio different. Pickens, yeah. Because as I did say, could you imagine how the Steelers would look with Pickens on the side? I think it wouldn't look as good as it did in Dallas because Aaron Rodgers is not on the level with Dak Prescott right now.
Right.
So
that's what I'm saying. Who's pulling the trigger?
Yeah, that's what matters. That's what really matters more than anything. He said they only have Metcalf and why everyone else is terrible. Yeah, pretty much he said they've been having the winning record with mediocre players. That's why the point, and they want to keep trying to go for wins. They need to get talent. I remember this is when it was Chase Young. This was early Chase Young because when everybody thought he was going to be elite. Mike Tomlin literally said, I don't want to lose enough games to get a player like you. You remember that clip that went viral?
Right, yeah.
That's the problem.
But that's the problem.
That's the problem.
That's part of it, right? It's set up where the better you are, the better your record is, the lower your picks are. But sometimes your record isn't really indicative of how great your roster is. Sometimes you just figuring out a way to win some games because that's the nature of the NFL. I think, again, the Steelers' biggest problem is for 10 years, from the time Mike Tomlin got there to 2017, they were a competitive team. As that team started to get older, they haven't done the best job of replacing talent, and they haven't been able to retain some of their younger talent for different reasons, whether it's personal issues or
money,
personality issues or money, whatever. They haven't been able to do that. Now it's like they got the most expensive defense in the NFL. And what I saw yesterday looked like an old, worn down defense. It looked old and worn down. The Bills ran inside zone so many times against them, and they couldn't stop it.
It's time. I'm just saying.
Yeah, I mean,
time for it.
So I mean, I'm just saying it was bad, and it wasn't that Josh Allen threw for a bunch of yards and picked them apart. They couldn't stop the run, and they literally was inside zone, which they had not seen all season. So that's what I'm saying. Like, it was, to me, the big issue is they just don't have a lot of young. They don't have a lot of young personnel. The young guy they got, Derek Harmon, in the draft. He's out for the season. He showed some promise early this year before he went out for the season, but they're just old. And sometimes you get old. Last night, I don't know if you watched last night's game. Bobby Wagner is a Hall of Fame linebacker to me.
Yes.
Evan Ingram ran a route against Bobby Wagner. It was a little crossing route, and it was literally Bobby Wagner looked his age when Evan Ingram ran that crossing route because Bobby Wagner just couldn't keep up. Sometimes you just get old. And that to me is what's happened. They're just old.
Might be look kind of flushed out. That's all I'm saying. But I do got some of my real takeover reaction about the Steelers too. Next up on the story, we got Justin Herbert, my quarterback, my QB, had left hand surgery, or is going to have left hand surgery. He could miss some time. In the wind, we won. He came back in, put a glove on, finished the game. Luckily, it's not throwing hand, but you still know. I know a lot of people get confused from the fact they be like, "Oh, well, it's not throwing hand, he can play." No, you still got to be under center. You got to get the ball, catch the ball, and you know what I'm saying. So everything, you still need your non-throwing hand. If everybody don't believe it, if everybody don't think you do, you do. But my quarterback is out. Sean, I'm waiting to hear any news, see how much time he's going to miss. I'm happy that we did beat the Raiders. We whooped the Raiders, made them look as trash as they is, and I believe we just eliminated them from the playoff hopes. So that's another great. I'm happy. I'm happy about that too. But how cooked are we if Herbert is hurt?
I mean, obviously, it means that Trey Lance will likely have to play. It means you have to lean more on the running game, obviously, and lean heavily on your defense. But big issue with Justin Herbert is he's hurt. It's his left hand, his non-throwing hand. But you saw Aaron Rodgers yesterday with his non-throwing hand. It's an issue. Hand the ball off, things of that nature. If you got to protect yourself, can you protect yourself? That's going to be the biggest issue. But, we'll see. Obviously, Chargers don't play until Monday night next week. So, we got an extra day or so to figure it out. But we'll see what happens.
And I think I was looking at, like, they didn't ever really just said exactly what happened to his hand. Like, did something break? I just know they said his hand was injured. I want to look at it again. Yeah, Justin Herbert has surgery. Let me see. Will undergo surgery. Oh, he just said repair fracture. So his hand just fractured.
Yes.
So, and I think looking at the Chargers next couple of games, and then maybe I hope this can get Trey Lance that chance. Trey Lance everybody was kind of high on him at a point in time. So maybe he could come in and get a game or two. Oh, let me see. Ooh, Chiefs, Cowboys, Titans, Broncos. Never mind. Never mind, Sean. Never mind. Justin Herbert got hurt at the wrong time.
Never a good time to get hurt, but I understand your point.
If he got hurt like around early November, I'd have been like, cool. We had the Titans, Steelers, Jaguars, Raiders. That's been the time to get hurt. Oh, actually, I skipped the team. We got the Eagles.
The Eagles is Monday night, next Monday night.
Eagles, Chiefs, Cowboys, Texas, Broncos.
Yeah.
Now, one of those games is the easy game. We might have a toughest schedule.
Yeah, toughest schedule might be y'all. Yeah.
Yeah, we might be. Because Patrick Mahomes, Eagles, they defensively, I think after that embarrassment on against the Bears, they're gonna try to make a statement against us. Texas, you can say a lot of stuff about their offensive side, offensive line, but their defense is one of the best defenses in the league. And then the Broncos,
best defense in the league.
The Broncos, same thing, one of the best defenses in the league. You can do the question on their offense with Bo Nix, but yeah. Next up on the list, the 49ers spoiled Shador's home debut.
Mm-hmm.
What was your reaction to Shador's first game at home? Obviously, it was a little situation with him and Jerry Jeudy. Shador had 149 yards, 1 touchdown, 0 interceptions, 64 completion percentage. And Kevin Stefanski already announced that Shador will be remaining as the starting quarterback. So
for next week.
For next week. That was saying, did Shador do good enough to keep his starting job? How would you grade his performance? Yeah, because I don't think nobody really care about the 49ers besides that one guy doesn't want to play for them right now.
I mean, he was okay.
First half was solid. Second half questionable. First half was solid.
He was okay. Yeah, he was okay. I mean, again, I thought the Niners did a good job, particularly trying to show him some different looks in the secondary. But, the big thing for me anyway is, he did make some good throws. The one throw to Fannin down the field for the touchdown was a good throw. It was a Shador throw. We've seen Shador make those throws before. Big thing for him is, he like a rookie. He left a couple clean pockets, too soon, things like that. But for the most part, he was okay. I think, again, they got Tennessee this week coming in. Cam Ward, obviously that'll be the big talk this week is him and Cam Ward. But we'll see what happens. But I think the big thing for them, in all honesty, is just is just to see some progression from Shedeur in terms of how he's processing, again, how he's doing in the pocket, Jerry Jeudy. You know what? From now on, we call him Jerry Juicy.
Jerry Juicy, whoa.
Jerry Juicy, because them hands don't catch nothing. It's like Jerry Curl juice all over them hands.
Jerry Curl juice, his hand dripping. Jerry no hands. I believe, because I think it was that one play that he was gone. But first of all, he stopped running too. If he would have actually went all out, and he probably would have got to at least reach for it and made a play. He probably was telling Shedeur the right message, but I think it was like a right message, wrong messenger. Because that's last week, Jerry Jeudy, you did fumble a good play, which you could have made a lot of yards off of. Jerry Jeudy, you didn't have other quarterbacks and you didn't kind of make plays. So I'm like, you can't really do all that. And then I do have to agree with Anton in the comments that I have not seen Jerry Jeudy in the face of no other quarterback all this year at all. I haven't seen him been animated at all about football at all. So for me, that's why I was kind of confused off that point. And then also another thing that like I really noticed and pointed out for Shedeur to say this, that made me a lot of question stuff that you see from Jerry Jeudy for a rookie to say it's about you. He was just like, it takes time to execute to get that timing. But he said also, I gotta have that trust in you to make a play or throw a ball a certain place. So that tells me that on that play, he probably wanted to Shedeur to throw a ball in another spot, probably like a little bit closer to this point. But if Jerry Jeudy really looked, his teammate was close to him on that play. And so it could have been a bad play. It could have been picked off. But Shedeur is saying, I don't trust you enough to make that type of play. Because I guarantee if that was Travis Hunter, he probably would have threw that, because he trusts Travis Hunter. They built that relationship and it took time with that. So that's what I just think with that. I think Shedeur, if I had to grade Shedeur this game, I give him a C+. I think the first half he played nice, made a lot of passes. He still need to learn how to let go of that ball, get his pockets presses better. Sometimes he does hold the ball a little bit too long. And in the second half, and it is also it's hard to do when he ain't got that much talent. Because I forgot, I think I was seeing a clip. Maybe it was Cam Newton for First Take, or it was or Get Up. I seen a clip on TikTok where they were saying or it was just somebody regular TikToker. Where they were saying that, hey, look at Bryce Young, for example. He got benched last year. You gave him more weapons to operate. Matter of fact, it was Ocho or Shannon. I remember now because it was Ocho that said this. He said you gave him more weapons, and you see how better he looked. Obviously, Shedeur really got that much weapons. Look how elite that Dak Prescott looked with George Pickens, and George Pickens looked better. Look how bad Justin Jefferson looked because who was their quarterback. So it does. Your personnel does matter. It does matter for me. But I give Shedeur, like I said, a C+. First half was good, but yeah.
I just want to say though, when Jerry Juicy, looked best in the Browns uniform was when Jameis was throwing them the football last year. Other than that, it's not been good in Denver or in Cleveland. So
one thing, your boy famous Jameis can make anybody look good, but he just go because what I know about Jameis is gonna sling that thing regardless. He don't care.
I mean, he cares, but I mean, it's he
gonna sling that thing directly. But if the playoffs is set today, Sean, I told you my city is on fire right now. The Bears. Caleb, quarterback, fingernail painted. They did all that hate on Caleb. He got the Chicago Bears as the number one seed. The Chicago Bears have been the number one seed in years. They take down the Eagles. They won the game. Nobody thought they was going to win. They won in convincing fashion, by the way. They ran through the Eagles. That pick they got, the 7th round pick, Sean, he might be a steal.
Yeah.
My bouquet,
Monongai,
whatever his name, Wakanda, because that's how he out there running it out there, Sean. But the Bears run through the Eagles, get the dub. The Bears are the number one seed right Is it a tester that the Bears are legit, or you could give me your answer for both of them? But if you had to lean it on a scale, which one's a little bit high, even if it's like this close, I want to hear both. Is it just a test that the Bears is better than a lot of people thought? Besides Chicago, people think the Bears, they're gonna think a thing. Or is this the sign that the Eagles is not as good as we think they is? Well, especially offensively. I ain't gonna even let you even try to lie. The offense, they trash. But you have to scale it. Which one is more? But if you want to talk about both, you can. I want to hear both sides.
I think it's a mixture of both. Okay. I also think, though, the Bears, I know when we did our preseason picks, I thought they could be a sneaky playoff team. Obviously, didn't expect them to be 9-3. They found ways to win some games. So certainly you definitely, cannot sleep on them. They are legit because they're finding different ways to win. And it's not always pretty, but they're finding ways to win, which ultimately is what the NFL is about. Figure out a way to win this week. That said, they got to go to Green Bay next Sunday. And they got 2 of the next 3 against Green Bay, and then they got to go out to San Francisco, and then they got another game against Detroit.
If sure.
4 of these 5 games can be very tough.
No, they tough, but I'm letting you know right now, if he goes in Green Bay and win on Green Bay, why he on fire? Oh my God!
Yeah, so that's the game I'll be tuned into next Sunday. Lakers the late afternoon game. I'll be tuned into that one. But no, I think ultimately, the Bears, the division NFC North is still very much up for grabs. Green Bay is still right there in the conversation. Detroit needs some help. But Green Bay is still right there in the conversation. So these next 2 of these next 3 games against Green Bay could very well decide the division and have some say in the division. So, Chicago cannot rest on their laurels. Yeah, they're on a 5-game win streak. And again, they've been able to pull out some close wins, in this 5-game win streak. But I think it's going to get really interesting in these next 2 out of 3 against Green Bay.
The last team that did what they did, Sean, that's all I'm saying is the Commanders and where they finished at.
Yeah, no, they were the 2 seed. And no, I'm sorry. They were the 3 seed.
NFC Championship game.
No, they were in the NFC Championship game. They were a wild card. They were a wild card team that went to the NFC Championship game. The Bears could very well end up in the NFC Championship game. But I think the big thing is you can't look too far ahead because you got 5 games left in the season. 4 of your games, again, 2 against Green Bay, 1 at home against Detroit, and then at San Francisco the Sunday after Christmas could get very, very interesting. So for me, if I'm the Bears, I'm locked in on how we're going to figure out a way to beat these Packers this week in Green Bay.
Sure. And this for me is one second. I know we're going to look back at this and be like, oh, I just won that one dominant team. This year's Super Bowl might be the hardest Super Bowl in years because legitly, and I mean this legitly, both sides, I'll probably say maybe besides the 49ers, I'm talking about every team healthy, by the way, besides maybe the 49ers, legitly every team that's in the playoff right now can make the Super Bowl. NFC side, Bears, Rams, Eagles, Packers, Bucks, Seahawks. I can see each one of them teams legitly making the playoffs. And then maybe 50-50 on the Bucks, but the Bucks will be last on their list. But I think that if Baker get hot at the right time, but I'm saying if healthy, they all legitly can make the Super Bowl. AFC 1 through 7 all legitly can make it to the Super Bowl if healthy. Broncos, Patriots, Jags, Ravens, Chargers, Colts, Buffalo Bills, legitly all can make the Super Bowl. So this might be the toughest Super Bowl in years. And if the AFC wide up with no Chiefs in the way, if the Bills don't make it this year, there's no other year they're going to make it. The one team they can't beat is not going to be in their way. Because I don't see the Chiefs going to try to make it. And if my Chargers sail with Herbert being out and let the Chiefs sneak in the playoffs, I'm going to be upset. But, yeah.
I'll say this real quick because, again, I agree with you. I think there's several teams that can make a run in each conference. Every team has a weak spot, though. And to me, the big question is going into December, can these teams figure out how to make their weak spot less an issue? Because I don't think you're going to fix it completely, but can you make your weak spot less an issue? That, to me, is what we're going to see in the month of December. And, again, some teams playing some pretty tough schedules down the stretch. A lot of things still to be decided. To me, this is actually great because it means December matters probably more in a few years for a lot of teams because nobody's, established himself by far and away as the best team in the league.
And the best thing the NFL did by putting the division games at the end of the year. Also, I did kind of get a little carried. Jaguars, no. I did get a little carried away. Jaguars and the 49ers are the only two teams that I don't think got a chance. But everybody else legitly said Hawks gotta go Hawks or any team can get it. I mean, the Hawks look good. I'm going to look good. Quick injury bug before we go from what we learned from week 13 during this recap. Maz is obviously my quarterback, Justin Herbert, even though we already talked about it. Besides that, nothing else for me.
No, that's my big one is Justin Herbert, just figuring out his status.
Cool. Yeah. 13 recap. We kind of really talked about a lot of things. I could just say legitly what I learned this week, even though one of the games happened early, that Dak Prescott might be one of the best quarterbacks in the league. And when people had that conversation asking about who was better at quarterback, and I can't believe I'm saying this, I don't want to give the quarterbacks credit, but they was arguing Jalen Hurts, but Dak Prescott got him by a mile.
Wait, hold on. Can we stop that?
Dak Prescott got him by a mile. Yep, I said it, Sean.
SB, can we stop that? Because, again, here's the problem, and this is what always going to come down to. We never talk about how good Dak Prescott is in the regular season because he's always good in the regular season. Show me in the playoffs. Show me in January. Because you never do.
I mean, that could be true, but however, at this point today, Dak better than him right now.
No, we're talking about if you're talking about regular season, who's having a better regular season? Obviously, Dak is having a better regular season, but this ain't what it's about.
Mm-hmm.
Get in the playoffs and show me something, because all I know is Dak becomes whack in the playoffs, and at the end of the day, I've seen Dak do this. Dak was second in MVP voting a couple years ago because of the regular season. So we've seen Dak do this in the regular season. I don't care about that. Show me in the playoffs. Show me you won't be whack Prescott in the playoffs.
But usually he run into the Eagles, though. That's why.
It ain't even just the Eagles. He didn't run into the Packers. He didn't run into the Niners. He didn't run into a lot of teams in the playoffs. Show me you won't be whack Prescott in the playoffs.
I mean, if they make it. They have to beat the Eagles out.
They have to make it, and they still got a ways to go. They need some help. But if they make the playoffs, show me you won't be whack Prescott in the playoffs.
Yeah, to whack. But I don't know, maybe you might could be right, but I'm just saying. And I put him on my boy because I don't rock with Dak. But
listen, he balls in the regular season. That ain't even the question. He balls in the regular season, right? He balls in the regular season, but when it's time to put up, why you gonna say that? Now you gonna say that. Say that. All right, but now go ahead.
Okay. Next thing up that I learned for this week. I know Penix is out, but I expected more from that Falcons defense. For them to lose to the Jets and let the Jets put up 27 points on them. I'm not really trusting the Falcons no more. And and then the team that I always told you I just been hyped to watch, and I've been supporting them since Bryce got benched and then he came back. The Panthers are dangerous at home.
Yeah.
I'm not saying they're going to make a whole playoff run, but I mean, if they had 10 games in a row at home, I see them winning 7 out of 8 against anybody. Because they are a totally different team at home, and Justin Herbert is a dog at running back. And what else stuck out to me this week? Nothing else. Oh, the Vikings, but we'll talk about that in Real Takeover Reaction. I'm trying not to say what I'm going to say in Real Takeover Reaction without her. Yeah, but that's all I learned from week 13, man. Because I got some stuff in my Real Takeover Reaction I didn't want to kind of spoil, so I didn't say so.
Yeah, I know we got to move forward. I won't get into my week 13 recap. I know we got to do Real Takes over overreaction because we're going to try to do some call in at the end. So, let's get to it.
All right, Real Take overreaction. I got 2 NBAs, a couple NFLs. Tell me it's a Real Take overreaction. Real Take or overreaction. The next NBA era will go down as one of the greatest eras ever. I ain't talking about top 10. I'm talking about top 5, potentially top 3.
I'm going to say overreaction with an asterisk. It's not going to be because there won't be great players. I think it's going to be because it's going to be hard for teams to repeat as champions. And will we have a dynasty in this era?
Yes.
So that's the question. Will we have a dynasty in this era? OKC seems to be the team that I think a lot of people think can do it, but you need a lot of things to go your way to be a dynasty. Health, obviously, player movement, things like that to go your way. So I'm going to say overreaction with an asterisk because I don't know if we're going to have a dynasty during this era. Okay. We haven't had a repeat champion in 8 years.
But that does play a part in making a good dynasty too, because repeat champion. But I'm glad you said that because my last NBA one before we go to the NFL one, real take or overreaction. OKC Thunder will be the next team to three-peat. Oklahoma City Thunder will be the next team to three-peat.
I'm gonna say overreaction. Because it's hard. It's been proven it's hard to win back to back in this era so far. So three-peat is putting a lot on it.
You heard I said early in the show. Only team I think can stop them is the Nuggets
in the West. Yeah. Now again,
all right. No team in the East can stop them. At least not this year for sure.
Well, again, I think as a team, if they make a move, I would put them in that conversation a little bit more. But that's another conversation. No, I think it's. I'm gonna say overreaction, just because it's been proven it's hard to go back to back in this era. Now, if they go back to back, then let's talk about it in a year, or after this season if they go back to back. But I'm gonna say overreaction just because it's hard to go back to back in this era.
Okay. Next one, real take or overreaction. First off, it's not. I said WTF, but the W stand for who? TF is the Vikings quarterback. And this year does not count on Justin Jefferson's legacy. I understand on it. Because you always have one of the receivers that had them bad couple of years, and we always go back and look at their legacy and be like, this year, no. This is one of them years that don't count for Justin Jefferson.
So you think this is Justin Jefferson's Randy Moss Oakland?
Yes. And I don't count that against Randy. Every time you see we talk about Randy, I never talk about that. It don't count.
Yeah, but it happened. No. I'm gonna say real take. If that's the criteria, I'm gonna say real take.
Because I was like, come on, Sean, this is atrocious right here. This is atrocious. Real take or overreaction. This breaks my heart to say this, but I'm gonna be honest. I call it how I see it. Real take or overreaction. If Justin Herbert is out, the Chargers will not make the playoffs.
Real take.
We see that schedule.
Real take. Yeah, that schedule's tough. So yeah, real take.
Real take or overreaction. He should be fired because we talked about this earlier. So I kind of wrote this the right way. What I had the good idea, man. Mike Tomlin should retire. And to double down on to be kind of honest, Sean, his run as Steeler head coach is pretty average.
By Steeler standards, yes. By NFL standards, no.
How many?
So I'm gonna say this is overreaction. I'm gonna say this is overreaction because again, just think about it. Andy Reid in Philly. Andy Reid in Philly couldn't, get over the hump in Philly. Obviously, went to 5 NFC Championship games, went to a Super Bowl. They lost to the Patriots. There's some questions there. Perhaps Mike Tomlin can go or have a second act like Andy Reid has had in Kansas City. We've seen how that's worked out. Maybe he'll have a second act someplace else if he leaves. So I'm going to say overreaction that he shouldn't retire. His Steeler run was average by Steeler standards, but not by NFL standards. I agree with that.
All right. So Tracy in the chat. Last one before we get to our picks of the week. I said this before, and I'm doubled after the Bears put belt to behind. I'm doubling down on it again. The Eagles will not make the NFC title game. The Eagles will not make the NFC title game.
I'm going to say overreaction only because if they finish as the second seed, which is still very much a possibility, they can still finish as the first seed.
Which is possible.
Right. They'll have 2 home games in Philly. And if they're healthy, they can go back to the NFC title game. So I'm going to say overreaction.
All right. Remember last time I said if they was at home, if they secure number 1 seed, that's what I said. Yeah, and that was Sean. It's time to recap my favorite segment because tonight game does not matter. The game is going on does not matter. All right, cool.
SB and Sean NFL picks of the week.
SB and Sean NFL picks of the week. Sean, what did we pick?
All right, so San Francisco at Cleveland. You took Cleveland. I took the Niners. Niners won that one.
To rock with my boy Shador.
Yeah. Don't do that again. Jacksonville at Tennessee. Jacksonville. We both took Jacksonville. Jacksonville obviously won that one. Houston at Indianapolis. I took Houston. You took the Colts. Houston did win that one. New Orleans at Miami. We both took the Dolphins. Dolphins did win that one. Atlanta Falcons at the Jets. We both took the Falcons. Jets pulled that one out late. Arizona at Tampa Bay. We both took Tampa Bay. Tampa pulled that one out late. Rams at Carolina. We both took the Rams. Carolina did win that one. Minnesota at Seattle. Not even a game. We both took Seattle. We know what happened. Buffalo at Pittsburgh. You took the Bills. I took the Steelers. Buffalo did win that one handily. Vegas at the Chargers. We both took the Chargers. Chargers did win that one. Denver at Washington. We both took Denver. Denver obviously won that one in overtime. So tonight's game, we both took the Patriots. So tonight's game does not matter. So this week 13, I did get the win.
And I believe if we updated, I think we updated the score already. The score is 8-6-1. We had a tie. So Sean is up. We're gonna have to lock in again these last couple. These are back to back. That's 2 in a row, right?
Yeah, 2 in a row. Yep.
The row. Oh, I gotta lock in. But it has been another great episode of Real Takes Over Fake Debates with SB and Sean. And we'll see you guys on the next one. Peace out.
Real takes over fake debates.
All right, so yes, we still doing it. Yeah, I do. I closed it out for the audio. I don't. Anti said he didn't get the.
It's not coming up as a link.
It's not coming up as a link. That is weird. So maybe that could have been a problem like recently. So I'm glad Anti said this now. I don't know why is it not coming up as a link. Let me check the YouTube chat. Hold on. We're gonna drop the link for people to join for a second. Let me see. Is it on like Lamar? Let me look at Lamar channel. On my channel, it's popping up as a link though. Yeah, it's popping up as a link on my channel. Let me see. Join click the YouTube. It's maybe because I probably don't got my ranch over there on my channel. That probably is the case. Sean, that might be it. I'm about to tell Lamar if we gonna get people to join. Give my ranch back. So yeah, join. Go to my YouTube. Go to RTOFD YouTube. Let me see if we check on Go James Kingdom too while I'm over here because I want to fix it. Yeah. Okay. Why? Let me go to Lamont's channel. So at least now we can try to fix this for future references. Now let me see. Oh, FYF. Let me see. No, the link popped up there. That's how I clicked it. Yeah, I got in. Yeah, maybe something on your end. Until I clicked it. Yeah, it's there. It's definitely there. I don't know. I want you to click it. At least you can try to call in once to see. But yeah, FYF working. That one I see it on FYF for me. But I don't know. Like I can see it, but I can't click it. That's weird. Hold on, let me try it on my phone. Give me 1 sec, because I do want to fix this. So just in case, so good, Sean, that probably could have been a problem too. When like you did have it up and it wasn't like nobody joining. So
yeah,
see FYF debates. Okay, but it wasn't like nobody joins. No, I see the link at tab right here. I clicked it. It's on my phone. Okay, let me try the other one. I know it's on the vertical. Let me look at this one. Yeah, I see it. Is you watching the vertical way or the what's the name way, Anton? Let's see. Yeah. No, yeah, I got in. Yeah, and that's something on your end. So not in me. So I don't know. But I guess if not, we can't figure it out. Next Monday, we will have the link up for sure. And then what I'm gonna just start doing, Sean, like probably like when we get close to like the real takeover reaction, put it in early. So if it's a problem, then we'll do that. So look, we'll shout out to you guys next time. We'll be peacing out. Peace. See you guys next time. We out.
Real takes over fake debates.